Yeah, any human brain's not really configured to take just a constant bombardment of bright colors and noise and action. Like, you're just like, oh, fuck, like, that's what war is like.
Yeah. We're just constantly at war.
Dad?
Who is my daddy, and what does he do?
Dad?
Daddy, chill.
Dad?
This is the Dad Voice.
Good morning, Phil.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
It's going. Listen, we've been talking about marriage last episode. We'll give a recap here in a minute, and we all know that marriage is about teamwork, and sometimes ADHD can feel like a third player here. So
I don't have enough controllers.
Not enough controllers, that's right. And the ADHD kind of automatically assumes it gets one.
It makes you feel like you already don't have enough controllers.
Right. Part one, we broke down kind of like a lot of the whys of ADHD and like what impact ADHD symptoms have on our marriages. And we'll probably kind of put a pin on that and close up that idea loop. But today I think we want to focus more on the how, and talk about how we're going to get through some of these challenges so that your relationship doesn't constantly feel like, a parent to child relationship, and it's more of like an equal footing thing, because I know that's a big problem that especially neurodivergent people deal with neurotypical spouses. We'll go ahead and get into it. I'm feeling a little warmed up, a little loose. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
What the hell did we talk about last time?
Helpline? Hang on, I'm pulling up my notes here. So let's go over last time, because there's a few on here that I didn't want get to hit on. So we'll tag those on to the end of our previously section, and then we'll go into how we handle things. But I know last time we talked about a lot of it was spent on overstimulation and rejection sensitive dysphoria, and how that can impact your relationship, not just with your spouse, but with your kids. I deal with RSD a lot. It hits me right in the chest.
Yeah, it's a big one for me.
I think it's a big one for anyone with ADHD. And a lot of people, like I said last episode, just didn't have a word for it. And that word is rejection sensitive dysphoria. And if you didn't catch the first episode, I definitely recommend you go and check it out. However, a short summary of what RSD is, that feeling that you get when someone kind of gives a notion of rejection and then you really like internalize it. Like you hold on to it. And for them, it's a fleeting moment of you tell a joke and they go, oh, that's not that funny. And for you, that's like they hate me and they want me to go home and end it all.
This moment defines everything about me.
Right. And
this is it, dude.
You carry it with you for forever.
Forever.
I'm serious. Like, dude, I think about shit.
I can't remember what I had for breakfast, but I can remember the embarrassing shit that I did.
I remember the stupid thing I said when I was in 8th grade, but I can't remember, what I had for breakfast. Or
I'm literally still sick about that girl thinking that I actually did ask her to homecoming, that it wasn't a joke, and then I was assuming that we were going, and then she was like, oh, I thought you were joking, when it was almost time. Yeah.
And it hurts. Yeah. You see how it still hurts, though?
Yeah,
it's weird, because that's what rejection sensitive
I'm literally a married grown man now.
Rejection sensitive dysphoria, that's what that is. I could not get that word out. Then we did talk about overstimulation. I think overstimulation is not limited to ADHD or autism.
Yeah, that's more of like a physical reaction that comes out of ADHD too, not necessarily like something that messes you up emotionally. That's just purely physical. The sensory overload is nuts.
That's a thing that can happen to neurotypical people too. Like my wife gets overstimulated as fuck a lot of the time because it's just like any human brain.
That's a child's job.
Yeah, any human brain's not really configured to take just a constant bombardment of bright colors and noise and action. Like you're just like, oh fuck, like that's what war is like.
Yeah. We're just constantly at war.
It's a war simulation all the time.
We were supposed to be in the woods somewhere where it was like kind of quiet and you could actually live that philosophical thing of if a tree falls in the forest, can anyone hear it?
And your nomadic tribe were supposed to just occasionally drift past someone and go, oh hey, But now it's like we're all confined.
Yeah, I don't think the human mind is supposed to constantly have thoughts in its head like, my 12 best, biggest mukbang moments. I vomit this time. War with Iran.
It's crazy.
Drone hits the Burj Khalifa. We're like, ugh. And then it's like, hey, honey, can you go get the milk out of the fridge? It's like, what the fuck is that?
By the way, there will be Iran war jokes in this one because we are recording this the day after it started.
Because we are in Iran. Can't leave now.
We were in Mexico with the cartel. Now we're in Iran. It's all a mess.
Why did we decide to do our podcast retreat here this time?
Anyways, you had some stuff that you deal with, so I'll let you talk. You take it away and let us know what you got going on.
One of the tough parts with ADHD is having to keep up with your maybe medications and appointments and stuff. And that falls into the executive dysfunction part of not being able to do stuff with ADHD. So it's definitely a catch-22 where you're like, I got the help I need, but I have to actively, train myself to keep up with it. Take your medicine, go to your appointments. And, I mean, really the only solution I've thought of is you just make it your absolute priority in life to keep it under control. It's like your mission directive. And so if you prioritize your appointments and taking your medication, making sure you save enough money to have your medication every month, if it's expensive, if your insurance company hates you and doesn't want you to function, like mine might,
all of them do.
You have to just make it mission critical, because if you alleviate your symptoms and focus on that, then everything else doesn't necessarily fall into place, because shit doesn't fall into place. That's not life, but it does a little bit easier.
Yeah, and dude, executive dysfunction slams into you like a freight train sometimes, and it's never...
It's because if you're in a flow... And then all of a sudden you get pulled out of that. You start overthinking.
Exactly. And sometimes you can be on like a tear, like just cruising through your day, knocking stuff out. But then you'll hit that one thing and like the dishes have piled up. And then you look at the sink and it's overflowing and it's overwhelming as hell. And you're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, then you go sit on the toilet and scroll your phone for 45 minutes.
Right. And just completely doom scroll and shit. One big thing for me has been studying for my cert that I still have to take the test for. I have so much executive dysfunction when it comes to that. And like I lock up and I'm like, okay, I know I need to study for 2 hours a night, and I know I need to get this test on the books, and I know I need to take it because I've spent $400 something on this. But it's such a daunting thing because I'm so afraid of what if I'm not good enough at taking this test. And so we let those little mental loops we get stuck running with them in the hamster wheel instead of like stepping out and going, okay, hang on, there's a way to do this.
Yeah, let me reset.
Yeah, and one of the tricks
sometimes it comes down to go touch fucking grass.
Yeah, literally, like anything.
Go change the scenery.
Kind of just
immediately
pull you out of the chaos.
Go walk through a door frame. That changes your mindset sometimes. Like just.
And there are
move.
Some things in your life, like I said, the pile of dishes, and that's probably a big point of contention for a lot of people with ADHD in their relationships, because the dishes pile up, the kids have made a mess. Why isn't the living room clean? I have a working wife, and you have a stay-at-home wife, and so my perspective on this might be different than yours, but when my wife comes home and the house is a wreck, she doesn't ever just immediately like jab her finger at me, because she doesn't know what the day had in store for me, and she doesn't know how it's been going. And a lot of the time when she comes home from that, I had just gotten off work myself, right? Like, so I work from whenever I get back from taking the kid to school to 5-ish, because I'm salary, I just kind of work all the time.
That's a good American.
There you go. She gets off roughly 5:30, and she gets home, and if I worked late or whatever, there's shit all over the floor. The kids have, our 3-year-old, I offer him screen time. He prefers to have like Finding Dory on the TV where he can watch periodically, and because I don't have constant time to change the channel, I just leave it on. But he really plays with his toys. So all of his toys are just all over the place. She gets home. It's chaotic. And I can see like just distress in her face because I've explained this before, but she and I are very different. I need to rest and then I clean. I need to clean so I can rest. And one thing that I have found that helps me get out of that executive dysfunction of the overwhelming mess, because that's what a lot of it is like I could at 5:30, she's getting off. It's a 20-minute drive home for her. I could have some of that cleaned up, but then at 5:30, I finally get off my last meeting of the day. We have a billion fucking audits, especially right now at the beginning of the year. So I'm like, oh my God, like another one. I'm an analyst, so it's my job to track down all the information. I've been doing this all day. I look out. There's a shit show, like a mess everywhere. And it's overwhelming for me too. And then she gets home and it's overwhelming. And sometimes we don't really connect on it. And it's just both of us like looking at it, thinking silently to ourselves, God, this is a fucking mess. And I wish that I could get some help cleaning it up because it's a lot. But when we actually tag team it, when we actually get together and we go, okay, if you'll do this, I'll do this. Like,
and you can definitely do the chores that you not necessarily prefer to do, but the ones that you feel like you're better at, or
and working together makes the whole load seem a lot less. It moves a lot quicker. Plus, now we have both kids are old enough to clean up. Now our 3-year-old, he's still a 3-year-old, so he'll start cleaning up, and he cleans up very slowly. Like, he dumps his whole big box of Mega Blocks out on the floor, and then he picks them up one at a time and puts them back in the box.
A lot of times throughout the day, like with my toddler, I just kind of let her take everything out, and I just mentally go ahead and take the L that I'm just going to be cleaning up everything while my wife's bathing her. And I just, because I'm like, okay, this is occupying her right now, dumping all this shit out. I'm already mentally resigned to cleaning this shit up later.
And that's another like thing that we separate. Like, we'll go, okay, the kids need a bath,
and stuff does not. That's the big thing, is like when you have a big mess, you're trying to mentally piece it apart, and you start putting the pieces in, and ADHD causes you to think stuff takes way longer than it actually does.
Right.
And so you're like, how the fuck am I supposed to do all this? Like, and then you realize, oh, that took 15 seconds, that part of it. Now I'm rolling. Let's get it going.
Yeah, exactly that.
Start one piece.
One thing.
That's the common advice, but it's true. Start one part.
I notice is as soon as you hate it up until you get it, and then you hit flow state within that activity, and all of a sudden it's like boom, boom, boom.
That's when your
boom.
brain starts rewarding itself for actually doing shit.
It's like, oh shit, this mess is getting cleaned up. I like the way this
and you realize it does feel good.
Yeah. So,
but it takes getting there first.
It does.
And that is the problem.
And, there's a lot of ways to approach, and I'm sorry, I know that we're probably, I position the monitors so we're looking more at the camera when we do this, but with episodes like these, we have to have our notes.
Yeah.
And I like
we literally have ADHD. If we didn't have notes, we would be here for 8 hours.
Which kind of brings me to the next point of lists. And my wife, I asked both of us to sit with our wives and get a list of 5 things. 5 challenges that they find of being married to husbands with ADHD.
Can I tell you live my wife's actual first response?
Yeah.
And it's very much her.
Yeah.
She said, my problem with having a husband with ADHD is when he has hobbies that require me to do homework.
Yeah. Katie, we love you. Thank you for doing your homework. I appreciate it. But that's true.
And so I was like, I'll think of the things that bother you.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll think.
Won't be hard. I'm annoying as fuck, dude.
Take a drink.
Do you know how annoying it is to live with me?
Dude, it's got to be about as annoying as it is to live with me. So, and I asked her, and
we're just like this feedback loop where we're basically just jerking each other off all the time about how great we are at the podcast. So we're like, dude, we're not annoying. We're awesome.
Dude, I love talking to you. This is great because it's like talking to me. No, one thing that my wife did mention...
Babe, I'm not annoying. Our casual viewer rate is up to 6% now.
We're crushing.
Who cares if I'm annoying?
My wife...
It might be 7% next month.
We're climbing. We're on the
It dropped to 5.9 for one night. Oh, no.
Sad. So I asked my wife, I said, hey... give me a few things, and one of her things was the chore distribution in the house. That was definitely something on her list. Another thing was my need for lists.
She's like, I forgot he's autistic too.
God
damn it, man.
She wasn't.
What else do you need, dude?
She wasn't being super critical of the list. It was just that's something that was a hurdle for her that she had to, because anybody.
She's like, oh, people actually have to do this.
Yeah. Anybody that has, like, I'm so happy for everyone who has neurotypical spouses.
She's like, just think of what you have to do, dumbass.
Yeah. And I'm like, I do. And then I write it down, because if I don't write it down, 2 seconds later, I think of 30 other things.
I got to make a list first thing on my list.
My first thing, make a list of all the other lists. And it does drive her crazy. We have like a magnet pad on the fridge with a piece of paper, and we write it down. And half the time it's like me writing my macros down for my foods or whatever. But then on that, there'll also be call the vet, or Luca's Black History Month project needs to be finished, or whatever I have to make sure I hit on. And it was a fun learning experience this time, because he had his first Black History Month project.
What was his project?
Michael Jackson. So he picked Michael Jackson for Black History Month, which is fine. He loves Michael Jackson's music.
The singer?
Yes, that one. You mean the white guy?
It'd be funny if he just picked some random guy that lives in North Carolina named Michael Jackson.
He works at the Pump and Go.
Yeah, he's tenured. He's been there 35 years. He's the general manager of 3 now.
Luckily, I think his teacher
serving all of Ellerby.
Ellerby, North Carolina. I think his teacher realized that the kids in that class would probably just pick people they know. So he did Michael Jackson.
Sorry, when your son thinks of black people, he thought of Michael Jackson first, because he was never black in your son's lifetime. Actually, he was never alive in your son's lifetime. Right. I take that back.
It's crazy that it's been almost 20 years. When we were doing this project, I looked it up and I was like, that's
that was 2007, wasn't it?
2009.
Oh,
so
okay.
We're getting there. It's not quite that close, but
it's getting there.
It's getting there. So he picked from a list, and he loves Michael Jackson's music, so he was like, Michael Jackson.
The man can make a hit.
He can, several. But
he's made a couple.
He told us about the project, and we said, okay, well, you got to work on it. And there were 3 nights that week that he didn't have homework. And I was like, this is going to be not only an excuse for me to not do this fucking project right now because I don't want to, but also a good learning experience for him. Yeah. Because one thing I'm trying to teach him is
you showed him that documentary that came out on A&E or whatever a couple of years ago, like surviving Michael Jackson or whatever.
Oh, no, actually it was very hard to navigate all that shit with an 8-year-old.
Son, class projects are always about being relevant. So let's stick with the newest information.
It was hard. Come
on, son. I'm in media. I have a podcast.
Everything you look up about him has something to do with that shit. So it was super hard.
Dude, that's why I was laughing, because I was like, I bet that was really hard to help your son with that project.
It was so difficult.
Helping guide him around everything.
Everything. And like, even because they wanted to know his cause of death if he died. And I was like, cardiac
propofol.
Arrest. And I was like, cardiac arrest from an overdose of sleeping medication. And like there's not a nicer way to say that. I already omitted the part where his doctor was charged with manslaughter because of it.
I forgot about that. That dude was just pumping him. He was like, man, it's a lot easier to take care of a patient who's just always fucking asleep. Boy.
In this process, I was able to we banged it out at the end. But I told him all week, I was like, make sure you are staying on top of this. Make sure, it came as a packet. So I was like,
okay, starting off with some
we'll knock out a page or 2 per day. And then that way by Thursday night, because it's due Friday, you'll have maybe a page left and we'll be done. He didn't do that. And so I leaned into my executive dysfunction of holding him to task. And this is not pro-parenting advice. This is me putting a magnifying glass on how much of an asshole I am as a parent, because I didn't want to do it either. So I kept putting it off. And then on Thursday afternoon, he gets home. I say, do you have any homework? He goes, no. And I go, well, you have to do your Black History project. And then he pulls out the packet and it's like that thick. I'm like, fuck!
Yeah.
we got to do this whole thing. And I played myself on this, but it was still a moment that I could use to teach him because I was able to sit there and go, hey, this is what happens when...
This is what happens when we procrastinate.
Yeah.
And, son, when you see me stressed out, it's because I did that at my job, and we're at risk of losing everything. So.
Right. Yeah, Daddy could be laid off.
There might be better
anyway.
ways of putting it for your kids.
Yeah, I try not to scare him with that, but, it's...
Son, you could end up like me. I'm like, but I love you, Dad. Sorry, that was a wholesome moment.
I used it as a learning moment because we both dropped the ball. But I'm also very upfront with him about that, too. I looked at him and I said, look, you are 8 years old. This is the first project you've ever done. It is my job to help you do this, and I have to own that part. It is my job to keep you on track because I'm the adult in this situation. You're the child. And I am very upfront with him about that all the time because I want him to understand that sometimes I might say, hey, this is a learning experience, and next time you need to stay on top of this because it is your project, and you need to take ownership.
The next time
this.
I'm not going to take the brunt of the consequences for you. You're going to face them.
Right. He's a very understanding kid, so he seemed to get it, and so I considered that a victory. That's kind of... Sometimes with ADHD, you've already fucked up, and you have to go back and figure out how to turn that fuck up into something productive because... As long as you can make it something productive, it feels a little less bad. And so that was kind of what that was. So that's one solution to shit like that. But executive dysfunction just hits you right in the chest. And, there's just another thing that, there's this term dopamine menus that have come about.
Yeah, what's this?
It's where you generate... dopamine with other sources around what you're trying to do, right? So you put on a playlist of music that gets you hyped.
Yeah.
You put on a podcast, whatever. You put on the Dad Voice podcast, and you just start working.
Then you get mad.
Then you get mad, and you're screaming.
Work better angry.
Yeah. So
take out the trash. Do a couple of rails of Xanax.
Yeah, whatever you gotta do.
Dopamine menus.
Yeah,
mine's very literal.
Literal dopamine menus. Mine was more. Just find things that kind of take the edge off.
When I started doing shit like that in college, I was like, there might be something wrong with my brain. Why am I rewarding myself for taking out our communal trash after 3 weeks with rails of Xanax?
That was like, I'm such a treat guy. I'm such a treat guy. My treat, I hate Xanax. I hate the way it makes me feel, so I'm not really a big Xanax guy. But I've always been like, oh, treats. That's why I got so fucking fat when I was unable to move for a year, is because I was just like, oh, I took 3 steps today with my cane. Okay, here's a treat.
You're biggest at your most productive.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm getting more powerful.
And my wife is like, you have type 2 diabetes. You need to stop.
You're going to die.
Yeah, so... the reward system is a slippery slope. It is, and you have to be careful of that because ADHD and addiction tend to have a very tight correlation.
Big time comorbidities.
Yeah,
and,
so be careful.
Yeah, don't mess around with that reward center. Don't try and hack it.
As I read our notes and realize like some of the tips and tricks I put down here, I'm realizing my wife might be a little ADHD.
Yeah, well, mine too, because whenever we have to pick somewhere, she's like, just give me 2 choices.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, that's a hack.
That you rolled right into our next thing, because this is a big one for me, is choice paralysis. And my wife and I, dude, we go to war about what's for dinner. And the first thing I'll say, because I'm very much on schedule and I like it organized. We cook a lot at home. So I go, hey, do you have something planned for the evening for dinner? And she goes, no. And I go, so, well, what do you want to do for dinner? And she goes, well, what do you want to do for dinner? I'm like, that's not an answer to my question. I asked you first.
She's like, I want to eat for dinner.
And so, yeah. And here's the thing. You can look at me. You see, I've never been shy about food. I'm a man that likes to eat, okay? And for me, it's much easier to just eat whatever the fuck they want to eat, because I will. However, I also have preferences. And for her, I'll go, what do you want to eat? And she goes, I don't know. What do you want to eat? And I go, I asked you first, like, you need to tell me. She goes, I really don't know. And I go, okay. Well, we'll think about it all day. And then we don't think about it all day. And then we get back and it's dinner time and it's like 7 o'clock. And we're like, hey, the kids got to eat, get ready for bed.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about them.
And so we just kind of hit a wall. But one thing that I think this is, choice paralysis happens with everything. We do it when we're trying to figure out where we're going to stay for vacation because we have our consistent places, but then we have, but there's this nice new idea.
Yeah, you want to be a little different. Have a different experience.
So it happens in like because we take one vacation a year, and so we have to make it count. Like we don't do the things that a lot of millennials, like not taking a jab at you. I know you are very family centered. Your family takes you guys on trips and stuff. We don't do that. That's just not what we do. We take one vacation with just the 4 of us every year. We always invite people. Nobody ever wants to come probably because of me, to be honest.
It's all right. Good. No, you just frame that as you're like, no, I'm just a family man. I like spending time with only my kids, wife.
I'm a family guy.
There you go.
Another one.
I get it.
So, when it comes to like bit broader things like dinner, we are limited to what's in our pantry typically, but like if there's a ingredient or two missing, we can always say, okay, you grab it on your way home and that's what we'll cook for dinner. Cause she's always got the car because we only have one car because I won't buy another one. But we're limited that way with what's in the pantry. So that does kind of put us inside a box. And that can already limit us down to 4 or 5 options. However, date night is a different game. I go, what do you want to do for date night? And she goes, I don't know. I was hoping you'd pick something.
You're not supposed to ask.
Yeah, which we don't do that shit in my house. Yeah. We are equal opportunity daters, okay?
Yeah, same.
She can come up with an idea just as well as I can, and I prefer that she does it because then I know that she's going to have a good time.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're like, I know she'll like it.
Yeah, and there are things I know we could do, but like one of the things we did when we were dating, we have done it periodically throughout our marriage, is we love the traditional dinner and movie date night. We go to the movie theater.
Y'all love a good $800 date.
Yeah. Yeah, the popcorn, we take out a loan.
Do you wear your Givenchy stuff too?
We take out a loan to get a bucket of popcorn. And
y'all are going to get murdered outside the movie theater, and Lauren's pearls are going to fall off, and then your kids will become Batman.
Batmen.
Yeah, that's definitely how you would say it.
Yeah, I believe so. Having that...
That's two different choices.
That's 2 different choices. Whoa. And the dinner is a little bit easier because we always have like a list of places that either we haven't been to in a while or we haven't been to yet. Emma Keys. So by the way, let's pause for a second because Emma Keys is a place I want to try, and you were talking about it. And I just want to shout out a local business because, man, I keep hearing so many good things about their burgers, and I'm a burger boy. Man, I might walk there today. Oh, yeah. It's right by your house, right? Like, yep. I'm not going to dox you, but now we kind of have.
I dox myself. I doxed my own birthday.
I was going to say, like, now everybody knows you. They're going to.
I don't have anything to take, so whatever.
You can take my increased property taxes.
Yeah, literally. You can take my debt. I don't know.
But Emma Keys, you enjoy their food a good bit. I put myself in a box of paycheck to paycheck when it comes to luxuries like that. So my next paycheck, I'll probably save that as a luxury for that. But did want to shout them out because they are a local business. We actually went to school with the owners, the new owners.
Yep.
One of them. I don't know if we went.
I actually did with both of them, but college with one.
Oh, okay. We went to high school with him, and I don't want to dox them, but Emma Keys. Great place. Go check him out if you're in Greensboro, North Carolina.
His name is Emma Key.
Yeah, his name is M.A. Key. It's Ma Key. Yeah. Love to shout out local businesses while we're thinking of them because, I mean, not only are we community people, but it's cool to see the people that we came up with on their come up as well. And
that's always just makes
so,
you feel so good.
We have a lot of people in the restaurant industry that we went to school with, and they're just destroying the game right now. Machete is just literally art on a plate, and yokai is hands down the best Japanese Korean fusion I have ever had in my life. So if you're in Greensboro and you're not sure what to do and you like food, that's what you need to look at.
Or if you don't like us and you're ever trying to run up on us,
probably
be sure to stop at one of
places.
these local businesses first.
Yeah. Order some food and wait, and we'll probably show up.
Yeah.
So there's that. Anyways, totally derailed.
Yeah,
on
that was
food.
a long derailment.
My bad, because I just love food too.
I'm
obviously.
hungry now.
But we'll bring it back because food was relevant still. So, we get trapped in these boxes of, okay, what are we going to do for dinner, and what are we going to do for a movie? And movies are harder because, first off, you're limited to what's in theaters, but there's typically about 10 movies. And so one of the tricks that we use is we go ahead and eliminate, and we work it down to 2 to 3 options. And if out of those 2 to 3, we still can't pick an easy grab, what I will typically do is
turn around and go home.
Once I've limited it down to
go home and watch The Office for the 25th time.
2 options, I turn around, I go home, get some Taco Bell, and we put on Impractical Jokers in the background while we doom scroll on our phones.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's
sounds like a wonderful evening.
That is our
a good default
stimulation come down evenings, because I know Impractical Jokers is campy as fuck and really stupid, but I genuinely enjoy
everybody's got to enjoy something
jokes.
Campy or cheesy.
And it's either that or we kind of rotate. My most recent rotation for my background sound was I watched Blackish for the 4th time through on Netflix. And I think Anthony Anderson's one of the funniest fucking people. I just love his brand of comedy because he is such a dad, and I grew up around black dads that remind me a lot of him. So it just feels very nostalgic for me. All joking aside, again, derailed. So hey, listen, if you're new here, this shit's commonplace. If you're riding,
we're having trouble locking it in.
If you're riding with us and you're enjoying, take a minute to like and subscribe and keep up with this, because this is the ADHD pace we live off.
Yeah,
of.
make this part useful. There we go.
Yeah. I typically, if I can get it down to 2 to 3 options, what I'll sit there and I'll go, okay, now we rationalize. So we sit down and we go, I most of the time she doesn't like to talk, so I'll do the talking. I'll say, let's talk through this. We have horror movie A or comedy movie B. And we kind of, okay, what have we been watching for the week? Oh, we've been watching a lot of serious, super dark shit. So, okay, well, maybe the comedy might be the better option.
Let's lighten up a little bit.
However, what are people saying about this horror movie? Oh, it's the best horror movie that we've seen. Well, that puts us back to ground zero, right? So we just kind of rationalize and we get through it. And I go, okay, well, I think that because the comedy movie's been in theaters a little bit longer, we have less opportunity to go see that than we do the horror movie. Let's go see the comedy movie. It'll give us a break from all the heavy shit we've been watching this week. And there's nothing that I love to do more with my wife than just laugh. We have a very similar sense of stupid ass humor, and it is some of the most fun I have just cutting up with her. So a good comedy movie, boom, love it. Same thing with horror movie though, because honestly, it's either a bad horror movie and you're cutting up the whole time and making jokes, or it's a great horror movie and you're like, oh shit.
Sometimes you got to watch bad movies on purpose for the sole purpose of doing your own commentary.
Right.
That's a great bonding experience.
Which, speaking of funny, scary movies, I'm excited that the Wayans brothers are back doing.
Oh yeah.
Movie. Which, by the way, their kids look exactly fucking like them. It is bizarre.
Yeah.
If I didn't believe in cloning before, I kind of believe in it now, because they look more like clones of their dads.
They got better clone technology than Jim Carrey did.
Yeah, clearly.
He got a worse treatment.
Oh, God. The whole Jim Carrey thing. We're going to derail again if I
we can't.
All right, back from our piss breaks, and
all right.
I think it's about time to go ahead and shut this out a little bit. I think the point...
We've been here for 12 hours. Yeah. It's the ADHD.
We'll get 1 hour of content out of this. It'll be great. I think the point to drive home is, at the end of the day, it isn't a choice. It's just about how you kind of meet each other in the middle, how you step up for each other, because that's what marriage is in general. It's not just like a handshake agreement. It's understanding that you're in this for the long haul. You're going to have to tailor things because that's...
Yeah, you're like, hey, I deal with this shit. It doesn't make me a bad person. It's just something that we have to deal with together.
Right. And it's about being a person that your partner can, like mess up with, trip up with, stumble through things with, but still feel safe enough to do that and realize that they're not going to lose you or you're not going to lose them. And that is because of things like RSD that's such a big issue in ADHD. And honestly,
it's the sole reason why I'm not the CEO of a company right now.
That's it. That's the only reason he's not. He has the CEO brain. But honestly, I just hope these tips for navigating things like RSD and overstimulation and choice paralysis, I hope it gives you some tools maybe. We're not professionals at this. Technically, you have a degree, so you should have been giving more tools than I did. But
the tools are the friends we make along the way.
Tools are the friends we make along the way. I want to do more stuff like this. This feels like our natural flow state. It does. And I want to connect with people that get us, because that was the whole point of this podcast, is just connecting with people, and connecting with people that understand you and have been where you're at is the most valuable thing in life to me. But to put a nice little bow on this, I just want to let it be a reminder that it's not ever you versus your spouse. It's you and your spouse versus ADHD. And, it's completely navigable if you have a strong teammate that wants to be your teammate. If you're having marital problems, you got to sort that shit out. But if you think ADHD is the root of those marital problems, look into things like this. We're not going to be able to provide all the answers. We're not. Never claim to.
No. And don't use having ADHD as a reason to start acting like a complete man-child and make your wife do everything. Like, don't be a piece of shit.
Yeah, this isn't...
Get a grip, but also be open about what you deal with.
This isn't like us saying it's not your fault and now everybody else is to blame for the problems that you have that are centered around ADHD. No. Accountability is a huge part of conquering ADHD, and understanding and learning yourself and learning how your brain works is super vital. I've been in therapy for years because of this, and it is critical to how I would never have... I went back to school at 27, 28 years old. I would never have graduated college if I wasn't accountable for my own actions.
Yeah.
And I never would have landed my analyst job if I wasn't accountable for my own actions. We wouldn't have this podcast going as long as it's been going if we weren't accountable, because
we hold each other accountable.
We do. And we have to check ourselves every once in a while and go, hey, okay, we have no problem ever going, that episode kind of sucked. We've scrapped so many just because the energy was wrong.
Yeah.
And bring that same thought process into everything you do in life. And, hey, listen, if you're listening, if you're new here and you have ways to conquer some of these ADHD symptoms or things that work for you, share your wins in the comments below. Like, this isn't just for us. This is for anybody else listening.
Hey, you might help us too.
Yeah,
help us out.
Dude.
Help each other out.
I am 33 years old and I still find new tips and tricks every day from people on the internet. So you might be another one. And you know what? If I think your tip or trick is something that we haven't mentioned or we haven't thought of, I'll put it in the episode 1,000%. I think if we can get enough people kind of rolling in that post stuff like this, we could do whole viewer days where we talk about like really cool stuff that we've learned from viewers about the way our brains work. Also, hey, like, tag your teammate, your spouse, your partner, whatever, in the comments. Let them know, like, hey, we've been trying to figure this out. This might help you understand a little bit better. And just...
Babe, if those incredibly cool and sexy guys can deal with this, I can too. There you go.
Those glassed glasses wearing bearded men have really changed my life for the better, honey, and I need you to hear. No, but seriously, we're just two guys with microphones that found out that there's a whole area of life that's not being talked about, and we are qualified, maybe not overly qualified, but qualified enough to talk about it. So that's what
I
we're
live
doing.
it.
I live it every day. So tag your partner. And if you're one of the neurotypicals and you're like, oh God, my partner, my teammate could learn from this video, tag them. You know,
Tag 'em.
That's what we're here for.
That's a way of softly telling them they need to wrap it up a little bit. They need to lock it down.
Yeah, button it up, lock it down. And hey, subscribe while you're over here.
Yeah.
Give us a like, give us a subscribe if this is beneficial to you. Let's lock this shit in because we're going to now, again, this is our flow state. We really found it.
Yep.
I'm having so much more fun with this structure and like actually like knowing what I'm fucking going to talk about.
ADHD tip, dialing in.
Yeah. And
what you know.
if you're new here, we do the dad blast, which is where we're going to start kind of shuffling the more fun stuff like dad hyperfixations.
Yeah, watch the last one too because it was wild. We were just really hopped up on like World War III energy.
Yeah, Iranian War energy, which that was also kind of like our, hey, this is a gentle pivot into this new vibe. So,
yeah.
Either way, glad you're here. I still want to stick with our dad formations. I don't want those to go anywhere.
Let's give 'em.
Also, if you want us to talk about a specific thing, we do something called Dad Vice. You can email us at thedadvoicepod@gmail.com. You can email us at thedadvoicepod@gmail.com. Put subject line Dad Vice. If you want to remain anonymous, you can remain anonymous. I have no problem doing that.
We will not violate that.
We have had several already that we've built entire episodes around. So, you know, shoot us a message. Let us know what you want us to talk about, and we'll talk about it. But the Dad Blasts, those are on Thursdays. This episode drops Tuesdays. Audio 6 a.m. I think I'm going to do the same. We're still playing with times. So times may vary, but I think I might actually start gunning for Tuesday and Thursday nights for video at 8 p.m. instead of 6 p.m.
I'd agree with that.
So I think it flows a little better with our crowd, the ADHD crowd, because if you catch them at 6 p.m., if you catch me at 6 p.m. with the notification, that shit's ignored.
Oh, I just have it playing in the background, but only because it's my podcast
Right.
and I feel obligated to play it.
I'm not watching, I'm not engaging. But if you catch me with the notification right as I'm going down for the night, 8, 9 o'clock, somewhere in that ballpark, I'm like,
I might watch.
boom, I'm going to watch and doom scroll. It's perfect. So we're going to play with times and everything. Either way, my dad formation, just do what you have to do to meet your people in the middle, but understand that like you're not a burden. You just have to figure out how to navigate things, and you're going to do it. You're going to figure it out. You're doing great, and I'm proud of you.
Yeah, you're already doing a great job. And I guess basically to piggyback off of what you said, if you remember all those times where you thought you weren't going to be okay, well, hopefully you are right now, and that'll give you some perspective.
There you go. You see, you made it through all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Time to make it through some more.
Woo! World War III!
With war in the background.
Woo-hoo! World War III, baby! Anyways, we will catch you guys next episode. This has been really fun. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Not my dad!